There's a whole world of buyers out there, and while everyone is a little different, buyers do share common traits. You have impulse buyers, analytical buyers, skeptical buyers, and control buyers. And for many salespeople, control buyers are the most challenging, but they don't need to be. In fact, once you learn to adjust your approach and understand them, control buyers may just become your favorite type of customer. On today's show, you'll discover where control buyers are coming from so you have a better understanding and appreciation of their approach, how to tell if you're interacting with a control buyer so you can respond appropriately, and some ideas for successfully selling to control buyers. So where do they come from? Well, control buyers are not born, they're made. Take Connie, for instance. She is one of the best control buyers there is. She's forceful, and from the beginning, she's in charge. In fact, she loves to start off with,
"Here's the deal. I'll ask the questions, you listen, and give me answers. The second you try to sell me something, I'm out of here. I'll make the decision myself. You got that?"
Whew, she is a tough customer. But she wasn't always that way. You see, when she bought her first car, she was polite, quiet, and put all of her trust in Randy, her salesman. But she knows better than to trust salespeople now because Randy lied to her. He sold her a piece of junk that fell apart in just a few months. Then when she called for help, he was unavailable. To top it off, he said he would make her payments under $300, but she ended up paying $360 a month for the car. It was a horrible experience, and it's never going to happen to her again. Talk to most control buyers, and you'll find a similar story somewhere in their past. You know, a story where a salesperson was disrespectful, dishonest, and just not nice. Many control buyers are aggressive, and their take-charge attitude has a lot to do with a fear of being disrespected, bullied, or taken advantage of. It really has nothing to do with you. They've just learned that the best way to deal with salespeople is to come out swinging. So the worst thing you can do is react forcefully. It's only going to confirm their fears and cause them to get more aggressive. A better approach is to show them you're different. Show them you're respectful. You aren't going to bully them, and you certainly aren't going to take advantage of them. Show them they have nothing to fear from you. Once they see you're different and feel they can trust you, most control buyers soften their approach. In fact, they'll be more likely to buy from you because you aren't like the vast majority of salespeople they encounter. And because they like to make decisions, including buying decisions, control buyers can quickly become your favorite type of customer. Now, you might be asking yourself, how do I respond appropriately? And that's a great question. But before we get there, let's talk about some of the characteristics that can help you identify a control buyer. As I said earlier, control buyers may seem aggressive. They might interrupt and maybe even come right out and say something like,
"Look, I don't have a lot of time, so here's how this is going to go."
They like to get right to the point, and they're looking for immediate results. They focus on positives, they're logical, efficient, and they like making choices. They ask great questions, and they expect straightforward, logical answers. Most of all, they need to feel they have control of the process. So how can you adjust to a control buyer and increase the chances they'll buy from you? Well, first, get right to the point. You know control buyers are efficient and busy, so they respond better to a salesperson who is concise and to the point. If you're planning on regurgitating the ad they just heard or slowly working your way through a long list of features, you'll end up frustrating them. 2, stress quick results. If your product offers quick results, highlight them. You'll see a difference within the first few weeks. As always, be truthful and realistic in setting expectations because control buyers like immediate results and expect honesty. Number 3, answer questions directly. Nothing can aggravate a control buyer more than a salesperson who doesn't directly answer a question. Beating around the bush or failing to acknowledge their question may make them feel like you're hiding something. And remember, they're hypersensitive about getting flim-flammed or taken advantage of. So be direct. Number 4, follow your answers with a logical question to maintain control of the conversation. It might sound like this.
"Where do you ship your product from?"
Great question. We ship the product out of our Florida warehouse. Where are you located, Bob? Nice work. You acknowledged that it was a great question. You were straightforward with your answer, and then you asked a logical question to maintain control. And speaking of control, number 5, let control buyers feel they have control. It's important for control buyers to feel they're in control of the conversation, but you can't let them have control. A fantastic way to do this is by providing options and choices whenever it's appropriate, and especially during your close. Rather than saying, "What address should we ship this to?" a control buyer will respond better to something like, "Would you like this sent to your home or office?" By phrasing a closing statement as an option, you've allowed them to have control. So when you recognize that your customer is a control buyer, remember, it's likely because they fear being disrespected and they don't want to be taken advantage of. Show them you're different by being respectful, honest, brief, and direct. Give them options, and you might just find control buyers become your favorite type of customer.